infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Just like Nebraska volleyball, we know what it takes to build a championship caliber team right here in Nebraska. At Lincoln Industries, we're proud supporters of Nebraska athletics and even prouder to be creating quality manufacturing jobs for our fellow Nebraskans. With outstanding health benefits, wellness programs, and a winning culture, we're bringing that Husker spirit to everything we do. Ready to join a team that's as committed to excellence as you are? Visit LincolnIndustries.com to explore all our career opportunities and be part of our growing Nebraska success story.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. During the Get Holiday Ready sales event, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for only $379 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $375 per month. Lease for 36 months with a free rent, 7,500 miles per year, $4,750 to assign, no security deposit required. Tax title and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 1225. See delivery details.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3.
You've called out the thunder.
Now get ready
For the boom! Gaze into the face of fear. Booga booga!
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman.
I think we're getting scammed by a kindergarten.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com.
Quick thinking yesterday with that special talents thing. I feel bad for the guy. Just hope he doesn't get wise.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Presented by Nebco.
Welcome into a Monday edition of the show. This is On the Block, brought to you by the great people at Nebco. Check them out at nebcoinc.com. They're looking for some mechanics for their constructors brand and CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete. I'm not alone. I got my man, my partner on the stream, Strick. What's up, partner? How you doing today?
Yeah, we got it working. We got it working today, man. That's a good thing. That's a positive. So I'm glad to know that we're back in action and not necessarily just on the phone. We love the VIP line and all of that. That's the Sutter Heyman VIP line. I mean, I'm sorry.
Aloe Fiber
VIP line. I almost messed that up. But But at the same time, I love to be here personally with you, so it's all good. How are you today, my guy, as we approach the holiday season?
Doing great, Strick. It was a good weekend. Got a Christmas in on Saturday, got a Christmas in on Sunday. Little man was not exactly loving it. It took some finagling to get him to sit down and open some presents. But when he put his mind to it, he was killing the game. He was running around. He and his little cousin wore some matching pajamas. It was pretty adorable. So, yeah, absolutely no complaints here. We're all the way up to, I think, 50 degrees here in Lincoln. Stricky, is it pushing 70 or 80 where you're at?
Very cloudy. Looks like some rain in the air, but it's not cold. So it feels good outside, but it's definitely cloudy, and the rain is coming.
I get you. Let's just go through the rundown for today's show. Here in this segment, we'll talk some Husker hoops and also some volleyball. Of course, the team that beats Nebraska ends up winning the national championship. That is the Penn State Nittany Lions. We'll talk some NBA Christmas. 5 games tomorrow. Which games are we most excited to watch? What are some of the biggest storylines there? We are, of course, in the giving mood, so we'll play the shootout with Strick today and on Friday. Just a simple version, just the tiebreaker with Strick being remote. We'll keep it simple. So be ready to text at 2:45. We'll dive in, of course, the college football playoff and some intriguing ads for Nebraska football in the transfer portal. One on offense and a few of those on defense. 402-464-5685. If you've got any thoughts, as always, give us a shout here on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Stricky, let's dive in. Nebraska men's basketball at the Diamond Head Classic in Hawaii. Late games. I know you're still in the central time zone, as are we up here in Lincoln. It was late, but the Huskers found a way to get it done. 66-49 over Murray State in the opening game of the Diamond Head Classic for the Huskers. I think we could have predicted this, Stricky. Not necessarily a thing of beauty. Early, Nebraska with 15 turnovers. They do end up shooting just about 50% on the day, but still the three-point shooting numbers weren't there. A lot of ISO ball. This was a game where Nebraska was just the bigger, stronger team. It results in a 17-point victory. Just kind of felt like the Huskers kind of said, yep, we're good. Take care of business, move on, get our legs under us, call it good for game one.
Yeah, and sometimes that can happen. I mean, you get out of the cold environment of Nebraska, get down there, you're having a good time, you're experiencing Hawaii. Some of them probably experiencing Hawaii for the first time, and there could be a need to shift in the focus and the mentality, and it might just take that type of game to get your feet wet and get back on track. And that's how it can happen sometimes. I mean, obviously, Bryce struggled, and you don't want to see that inconsistency with him. You want to see some consistency, definitely in the double-digit range. Juwan struggled as well, especially if you're looking at them to be a couple of your mainstays. But Connor Sargent has been pretty consistent, shooting the ball well from three, and you got to like that. And shout out to Andrew Morgan coming in, stepping up, and having a big game. In only a very efficient 22 minutes for him, going 6 for 7 in his field goals. As you said, strong, just strong in the middle and the inside, and they took advantage of that with a double-double. But again, the number that I don't want to see dip on a continual basis is that assist number, Austin. I don't want to see that number continuously be in that range, because then, like you said, it becomes ISO ball, it becomes free for all. Everybody go for what you know. And then they're not built for that. They're not built for that type of game. And so you want to definitely make sure that those assist numbers are pretty stable and around that 10 to 12 range pretty regularly.
Only 6 for the Huskers on 26 made field goals, which, to Strick's point, is Nebraska was creating a lot of offense itself. Only 6 offensive rebounds for the Huskers, so it's not like there were just a lot of stickbacks either where you don't rack up those assists. But I think even more concerning, Strick, 15 turnovers. I'm willing to give the Huskers a pass because they win by 17 points, but you have, I believe, 5 different players with at least 2 turnovers, one of them with 3. 15 turnovers isn't going to cut it, plain and simple, especially if you're not forcing a lot of turnovers on your end. I mean, Nebraska does have 6 steals on the game out of Murray State's only 10 turnovers. So 15 turnovers to 16 assists. You want that flipped, right? Fred Hoiberg wants a 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, not a 2.5 to 1 turnover to assist ratio. But Nebraska dominated on the glass against the smaller team, 40-26. Nebraska controlled the paint for the most part. And Strick, I do think you bring up an interesting point too on Bryce Williams. When I was first watching the game, like, Bryce is just kind of a non-factor. He's not playing very well. but he did kind of take over, help Nebraska extend that lead in the second half a little bit, kept Murray State at bay. To me, this was a game where Nebraska didn't necessarily need Bryce Williams to be that alpha. I think because of the defense, right? Yeah, a sloppy start, but they held Murray State to 14 points in the first half. And that's something we've wanted to see from this team. Let the defense set the tone even when the offense is struggling. I felt like Nebraska did a pretty good job of that yesterday night and getting out to that 20-point halftime lead and just kind of keeping Murray State at arm's length in the second half.
Yeah, you want to see that. You just want to see an intensity. You don't want to see intensity built. You want to reverse it. You don't want to see it built off of how well you're shooting or how well you're scoring or a dunk or something. Yeah, those are turn-ups. When you get those great plays, those hustle plays, those dunks, those fast break steal with a finish and ones, those are turn-ups. That's not the thing that should stabilize your defensive intensity. Your defensive intensity should be the thing that's always there. It should be the thing that no matter how bad you shoot in a game, your goal is to make the other team shoot worse. So if you're shooting 37% for the day, and you're going to have days like that, that's all good. You're going to have days where you struggle. But when you do struggle, you just want to make sure that the other team is struggling a little bit less. If you're lackluster in your hustle and your defense and your rotations or any of those things, then a team is going to have more open looks. And I always say the more open looks a team gets, the more that they're going to make, because it's just by the percentages. Open looks get better opportunities to make because it's the things that you're practicing.
It is. I want to focus on a couple more players in particular here. It's been a couple really good games in a row for Andrew Morgan. What are you seeing out of him down low? He's had just a double-double here, but he's had some good offensive games. Was a big part of Nebraska's win against Indiana and then really stabilized things in the middle against Murray State. What are you seeing? What are you liking from Andrew Morgan over the last couple weeks?
I just like that Andrew Morgan fights for good positioning. He's got good footwork. So he's good with getting to a specific spot with a counter. That's added to it. He reads. He knows where he is regarding where he's at in the post, where his angles are. He's good at those type of things, and so he's good at sealing and knowing when to put body to seal and how to seal, and so he's fundamentally sound in that aspect. So if he has an advantage, he can take advantage of those situations just because of the way that he positions himself before the ball gets there or before the high-low happens or whatever the case may be. He's already prepared and ready before the defense actually can figure out what's going on. But then when he gets it, he's good with a couple of dribbles to a move or to a counter. And there's games where he's missed some bunnies, but I'm not talking about Benson bunnies. But he's missed some bunnies and some easy opportunities that could have even had a better game, but he didn't seem to do that in this game, and therefore he goes for 6 for 7.
We saw Nebraska look high-low with Andrew Morgan and Berke Boyitengel in the game. Boyitengel went down with what looked like a sprained ankle, stepped on a teammate's foot, was helped off the court. We'll see what his availability is. Do you think that, let's say Berke Boyitengel misses tonight's game against Hawaii, it will be a true road game for the Huskers, not just a neutral site game, even though it's part of this event. Strick, we saw Nebraska work some high-low or at least get into some looks with Morgan in Boyitengel. Can Nebraska do the same high-low actions with Morgan and Braxton Mia, or do you think that's out of the playbook now?
You're going to have to opposite. You're going to have to flip it. The reason being is a team right now in their scouting is going to sag off of
Mia.
Braxton Mia. And even if he's got to show that he can hit that, 10-foot, that free throw, 12-foot, up to 15. He's got to show he can hit that shot before anybody will even come up and press him. They already, the only way they press him is when he's out by the 3-point line and they know that there's dribble handoffs or things like that because he doesn't handle the ball very well. So teams are going to sag off of him. But if you're a team with a good counter, you set up the high-low and then you go weak side to a screen where that defensive guy can't get up, and the other the defender that's off ball, whoever it is, Ezekiel, Worcester, whoever it is, Bryce Williams, they can't get up to press quick enough for a quick pick and roll. So you're either going to get a nice open jump shot, mid-range, or you're going to be able to get into the paint and create something. So you can use it as a counter and know that, this is how I would set it up, and know that teams are going to being there because they know Borutengel can shoot. So teams knowing that Mia's not, and if Borutengel is not available, then I would have counters for what they're probably going to do. Sag off of him, go weak side, screen, roll, replace. Because Morgan can hit the 10 to 12 footer. Mm-hmm. So now he rolls. Basically, the Morgan's man's probably going to pick them up. And then now you're going to have some form of a shot weak side. And if you don't, other guy weak, go to the corner, hit Morgan, boom, weak side, and run the same type of action on the weak side. That's something that you could do to counter it because they're not going to be able to defend it.
You mentioned a name in there in Connor Siege.
Wish I had the board. I could have drew that up so you can see.
We'll definitely get Strick on. We'll get you on the whiteboard for that, Strick, because it'd be good for people to see exactly what you're talking about when Nebraska goes to that high-low look. Connor Siege was one of two guys to make a three for Nebraska last night, Strick. He was 5 of 10 from long range, putting him up there. He was getting busy from long range like he does. Bryce Williams was 1 of 3. Connor Siege has been a really nice weapon for Nebraska off the bench, kind of in that spot starter role. I would anticipate that if Berke Boyktengel is out, it is Connor Siege sliding back into that starting lineup like we've seen at points this year. But
pause right there. You move a Siege in, what do you do with Gary?
I move Gary to the 4.
That's what I was waiting for you to see. That's why I wanted to make sure you was going to say, okay, we there. We on the same, we got the same wavelength.
Because I think Juwan Gary, when he's locked in, when he's engaged, is big enough to play the 4. It's an athletic 4. And with Mia, you can play a lot of 4 out. You'll play 5 out with him like you have been. But I think that's a good way for Juwan Gary to utilize his athleticism, right? Yeah. Yesterday with Juwan Gary at the 3, Nebraska put him in the mid post, let him go to work quite a bit. My preferred style of basketball has Juwan Gary at the 4, and I think we've seen some success from him there. But Strick, when you look at Connor Siege, and if he does slide into that shooting guard role in the starting lineup, I've really liked Connor Siege's game so far this year, especially against non-conference teams, right? He's been a weapon off the bench. He's really sparked Nebraska with some hot shooting from 3-point range. But I think, to me, the biggest question for Connor Siege isn't what can he do in the non-conference. To me, it's what's going to come of Connor Siege and what's his role in conference play, right? I think we know what his role is going to be, but how productive is he going to be in that role? Because these Big Ten teams have 2 years of film on him. What is Connor Siege doing well that you think can carry over to Big Ten play? What does he need to get better at to kind of go against the scouting report and continue to be an impact player once Nebraska gets home from Hawaii?
What he doesn't do that Keisei used to do is set up. And Keisei is quick-footed in changing directions that he could get those backdoor looks. You know what I'm saying? Where he can get those backdoor opportunities. Connor right now only shows his ability to get off of screens, right? So he needs to learn that to curl more, get some of those late curls like Keisei used to do, curl, but you would have to have watched Reggie Miller to understand what I'm saying. So even if he comes off of that curl, his next move is a hard fake, like he's going to go out the weak side and then boom, shoot back out the strong side and stress the defense. He can't be just one level, one speed, and one direction where you just know you can trail him out and be there on catch. That's what Michigan State did against them. They just didn't even give him a sniff. It's the same stuff they used to do against what's my guy that was it from Jersey, shooter a couple years ago.
Jamarcus?
No, the other one.
Oh, CJ
Wilcher. Yeah. So it's kind of what Texas A&M did to CJ Wilcher. Just like certain teams would do that to him, just would not let him even get a sniff, wouldn't even let him get a look. A Season has a quicker release than CJ does. So on catch, you got to be there. But I think if he needs to really work on change of direction type of stuff where, you set a guy up, you jump back, you fake like you're going to boom, and then you shoot back door. But it's got to be a setup. Like the jump back is to create space so that they're not tied to you. And the fake is, if you're going off, is to get them to try to leverage up on you, because with that space, they're going to try to like collapse the space up on you so that they can get over the screen, right? That's when you shoot backdoor on him, right? So he's got to learn just different foot techniques in order to create open opportunities for him. And then on that, don't necessarily have to, because he's not super athletic leaping wise. So on some of those catches, it's short pops, you know, as opposed to trying to go finish at the rim against a 6'11", 7-foot guy.
Or you can even, you know, play under control, drop a bounce pass off to a rolling big man, right? There's all sorts of stuff available there. On that Reggie Miller point, was that cut that he made, was that part of the play, or was that Reggie just knowing basketball and knowing how to leverage?
Knowing basketball, knowing if you're locked, I'm going off. But then he would learn, this is what a season, you know, I could teach him tricks like that if I was around him enough. But like you could stand flat-footed, lean in, don't extend arm, lean in, extend shoulder into the guy, get off, and then go. There's different techniques. Stand next to the guy.
We lost you. Unmute yourself. Oh, no. We lost you. We're not hearing you. Still nothing. Still nothing. Unmute yourself on StreamYard. Okay, now unmute your mic. We lost you, Stricky. I can't hear you. Let's go to break. Let's pause right here. Let's go to break. We'll see if we can get Strick back. When we do get back, we'll talk some NBA Christmas and more when we get back here to On the Block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
It's that special time of year again, with bowl games galore, ugly Christmas sweater parties, and way too much eggnog. And like clockwork, you still haven't bought any gifts yet. Great news! Your procrastination headquarters this year is at Tailored Life in Bennett. Avoid the long lines in Lincoln stores and head down Highway 2 to Bennett, just a 20-minute drive, and their staff will help you pick out the perfect gift for your mom, wife, or significant other. Procrastination has an answer this year at Tailored Life in Bennett.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. During the Get Holiday Ready sales event, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for only $379 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $375 per month, lease for 36 months with a free credit, 7,500 miles per year, $47.50 to assign, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 1225. See delivery details.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all-natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Don't wait until the final whistle. Act now. J-Tech delivers expert craftsmanship and unbeatable savings for your home. Whether it's a new roof, energy-efficient windows, or solar panels that power your home like a champion, they've got you covered. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, let's try this again. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. Strick, you got me?
Yeah.
And we got you. We're back.
There we go.
Let's go. All right, finish your point there on Reggie Miller, just kind of knowing the game of basketball, knowing how and when to cut. And then with a guy like Connor Essegian, is that something that Fred Hoiberg would have to call, or is that something just flow of the game? Coach Hoiberg's not going to be mad if Connor Essegian sees his opportunity, gets a backdoor cut for 2 easy points.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it out of the offense. It's a free flow offense. So if they're jumping the overcut, the pick, or the dribble handoff, any of that stuff, there should be a backdoor option, and there's usually another pass or another handoff to follow thereafter. So it can work off of that, but it can also be a setup. And what I was saying is Reggie Miller, there would be some things like if the trail guy's here, this is Reggie Miller right here, the trail guy's on his hip. There's a technique where the Reggie would step his foot, and I would use it too. I learned it from him actually. Step my foot behind the other guy, get low, shoulder into his hip, think like I was going to go. He runs into me, hit him again, and then go off. That's how you create space. It's just different techniques to be able to create just that separation. that separation is going to create the stress on what that big man's going to do. Is he going to get out there knowing that I like last night, shot 5 for 10 from 3, or is he just going to show, which allows me to catch? If that guy tries to go over the top, I step back into that corner. Bye, Yao. If not, he tries to trail. Now I catch it, hesitate. Big man don't come out. If I don't like that shot and I want to put more strain, I attack his right shoulder. I either have a drop pass lob or there's going to be weak side help to where I go to the weak side. It's really a simple game. It really is. And sometimes when we watch it, Austin, it looks like, why are you making it so complicated? But It's really simple.
The other option I want to run past you here, maybe, Strick, is you and I have had different conversations on air and off air about Nebraska and how it sets screens. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Could the guy that's screening for Connor Essegian slip, right? If there's a trail guy trying to come from behind him and then the screener's man trying to deny that pass, wouldn't a slip be an easy way for Nebraska to create a numbers advantage going downhill?
There's no question. And I don't think they see it. There's times when they just don't see it. Now, I think there's been a couple of times, but Rink usually handled the ball a lot more. But yeah, I mean, you've got, especially if you have like Bryce and Juwan, because defenses are very not detailed these days. So in a switching defense, the key to it is you must come together before you switch. Now it's hey, point. You don't come together, it's lazy. And when that lazy happens, that's where that avenue opens, and that's where you should take advantage of a slip there. But sometimes they don't see it.
If it's Bryce or Juwan, you get numbers going downhill. But if it's a guy like Braxton Mia, that should be a clear pathway to a dunk, on the perimeter. I think there's lots of ways for Nebraska to potentially use that. And we'll see, of course, they have another game tonight against Hawaii. It'll be a 9:30 Central Time tip on the Deuce. Well, Stricky, a couple days from now, we got NBA Christmas, a 5-game day in the association. I think one of the more exciting matchups features your Dallas Mavericks, a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. Dallas is playing well. Minnesota's been a little bit up and down. I assume you're going to have at least some eyes on this game. What are you watching for in Dallas, Minnesota this Christmas?
Well, over the last 2 games, actually, when I was at the game, the last game I was at where I had to do that event, Luka looked like he was limping, so he was down, and then there was no Kyrie Irving. So I don't know if it was where they were doing load managing or whatever the case was. I just don't know. So you hope that Kyrie's available. It gave a lot of those guys an opportunity to do some. Clay was able to get big minutes, big opportunities, big shots. Dinwiddie, they were able to get to see him run the point. So that Timberwolves are going to shoot a lot of threes. They're gonna get them up. So you just want to be very solid on defense, not letting Ant get to the paint and get solid paint touches all night. He's going to be a volume shooting guy, and you just want to make them frustrated, because there's a lot of frustration between big fella
Gobert,
Rudy Gobert, and
Julius Randle.
God, Boy, I hate when my mind goes blank like that sometimes. But there's some conflict between those two right now. Those two are struggling with some synergies, and there are some frustrations there. I don't know what it is. I don't know when it started, but there's definitely some frustrations. There's some shade going from Julius Randle to him on posts, and it's something going on. But anyway, you want to make that situation frustrating. You want to blitz, take the ball out of Anthony's hands. I think defensively, you're long enough and you're big enough to be able to handle Julius Randle on the perimeter. Just don't allow him space and don't allow him strong left-hand drives. Force him to his right. Let Gabberts be there ready to help out. And then just make sure you have a body on Gobert, because that's where he's going to crash. So It could be a pretty simple game. It should be a good one. So we'll see what happens.
If you are Anthony Edwards in that Timberwolves locker room, what is your role in trying to diffuse the tension between Gobert and Randall? Is it give them space, let them work it out? They're grown men, they're veterans, they got to handle it. Or if you're Anthony Edwards, you have to step in and say, hey, this is my franchise. I'm being paid like the franchise player. I'm an up-and-coming superstar. Not put yourself above him, but just is it his role to jump in the middle of that and say, hey, get in line, we got to play a team game? Or does he have to step back and say, y'all are veterans, you handle this?
There's ways to do it. Whether you're, me personally, I probably would do it when I'm on the road. When you're on the road and you have a chance, yo, man, let's get together, man. We're just gonna go sit in my room. You know what I mean? And let's just chop it up or go to dinner or something like that. And you try to just clear the air in subtle ways. Don't necessarily say, yo, man, just say, hey, man, what's going on? It just seems like there's some tension there. I just want to talk about it because I know that it's affecting how we play. And just lay it out there like that. And if you say no, well, no, I mean, I think there is something, man. But we listen. And then from this point on, it shouldn't be nothing then, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of, if you're going to lead that conversation, if you're Anthony Edwards, that's how you would lead it. But I don't know. I don't know if he's there. I think he's a vocal leader. I just don't know if he's cerebral enough to kind of tactfully pose those questions without necessarily making someone or forcing someone to be on the defensive.
I get you. Also in the Western Conference, you get a matchup of California teams. You get the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Strike, two teams that still have the upper level talent, at least the star power, the name recognition, and the brand, but are still fighting just to stay in the playoff, or not even just playoff, but the play-in conversation for both of these teams. Could be LeBron's last Christmas Day game. Steph doesn't seem like he's anywhere close to retirement, but again, the star power is still kind of fading. I get why the NBA has to do a game like this, right? Because it's the Lakers, because it's the Warriors, because it's LeBron, and because it's Steph. But do you think the NBA telling itself that they have to put this game on Christmas is a reason maybe the ratings and the eyeballs are where they are instead of maybe leaning into the Thunder or the Rockets?
Facts. You're talking. It's the same trick pony. This is why you still have the Suns out there. You're still going with the trick pony when you need to be raising up the next levels. It definitely should have probably been Memphis in one of these games, right? You're still going on the old method. It is very similar to why politicians lose races today, because you're still going with the one trick pony and thinking that mass media is the way. You see what I'm saying? When it's not. It was X. It was YouTube. It's a different method of putting it in the air, of podcasting, right? It was different. So they're still going with the one trick pony, thinking that it's the big names that's the draw. That's not where it's at right now. And you need to find out what that is. And this is where you need to be putting teams like, I see you trying to throw Wembanyama in the mix. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I see you trying to put him in the mix. Yes, that's understandable. You know that the best player in the game right now is definitely Jokic and his crew. So you want to throw that mix into the game. You've got your champions. You've got to throw Sixers is irrelevant. Why even throw them into that mix right now? They're irrelevant. So I think that's the case. See, here's what you're going to get as far as viewership, Austin. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get basically when it's time to eat. That's when you might get somebody watching the game if they're not watching football. Whatever, it's going to be on while you're watching, but they're going to take a nap on you when that food sits in that belly, and then your late games aren't going to really do much. Let's look at those ratings and see what those late games is going to look like, Austin, like compared to those games right around mealtime. Like I that's something maybe we should try to figure out if we can pull it up, because I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see the game will be on during, it'll be on during the mealtime, but then it gets later in the evening. People are going to be playing games. They're going to be playing board games. They're going to be doing, and the game may be on. You may get it out of that, but for the most part, I don't think people are going to be putting eyes on it.
To be fair, I understand what the league was going for with Boston and Philly, right? I mean, Boston, the defending champions, Philly adds Paul George to the Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid duo. Even the breakout of Jared McCain early in the year, you can say, hey, Philly's an East contender. They're all but bottoming out right now. So that game has lost a lot of luster. And I think the league could see this coming before, right? You know that Paul George has been hurt. You know Embiid is here or there with his availability. Maxey being banged up as well. You would have thought they would have had some time to flex a game, right? But maybe that's not how the NBA works. Whatever. Okay, so be it. But Strick, I do think that there's really only like 1.5, 2 marquee games. I think that you had that rematch of the Western Conference Finals from last year. You get the Suns and the Nuggets, which is okay, but not going to move eyeballs in neutral spaces for casual fans.
How come not Cleveland?
Why not Cleveland?
You knew Cleveland was going to be good this year. Yeah,
right.
I knew Cleveland was going to be good. I didn't expect them to be this good.
No.
But I knew they were going to be good. Why not Cleveland? That's the thing. It's like, but I guarantee you, if LeBron was in Cleveland, they would have had Cleveland. It's like, come on, man. Like, they're going to have to get out of that, because what Cleveland is the epitome of team.
Yes.
With a few stars and not superstars, but a few stars,
all stars,
but a good team. And if you don't get back to that model of good team and, fun, solid play with some defense, if you don't get back to that model, you can still throw in your stars. But if you don't get back to that as the model of rivalries, I think they're going to lose.
No,
as the NBA, I think they'll lose. And I don't know if Silver, he's definitely not David Stern. I don't know if his creative mind works. He looks, I don't know. Let me be quiet.
No, I get you. But right, I mean, you look at Cleveland at 25-4. Orlando's really doing it by committee with Banchero out, with Wagner out, and now Mo Wagner out for an extended period of time with an injury as well. Let's just have a rematch of Cleveland and Orlando. That was a playoff series last year. 2 young teams that are on the up and up. You could even go, like you said, what about Memphis? What about a team like Houston? Or, I don't know, Oklahoma City, who's 22-5, second best record in the league. Half a game ahead of Boston for that, just a couple of games behind Cleveland for that best record. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a superstar, but people still need to learn more about him, right? That would be a perfect opportunity to start passing the baton to the next wave. Who knows if LeBron comes back, whether or not he does. But Strick, this is kind of the problem with the NBA strategy, and I think we can distill this down to the Lakers as well, just on an individual level, is that, yes, you're still going to get ratings, you're still going to get numbers if you feature the Lakers, you feature LeBron, just because that's a national sort of fan base and a national sort of following. But it makes me wonder if Darvin Ham, if JJ Redick have had those tough conversations with LeBron, like, dude, we're playing like a lottery level team when you're on the court because you're not engaged in defense. Sure, you can turn it up here and there, but you're not doing it consistently. We get your LeBron James. We mean no disrespect, but we need more from you if you're going to play heavy minutes. Otherwise, if you're not going to lock in defensively, we can't afford to put you out there that consistently, right? Because the units without LeBron James, for the first time in his career, are better with him off the floor than with him on the floor. And I think the NBA and the Lakers both need to learn that lesson is, sure, you can go to LeBron, that's fine, but you can't rely on him every night. You can't necessarily rely on him to carry a day like you once could. You just don't know when exactly he's going to turn up and you're going to get it.
That's a fact. They don't have a clue as to how that's going to work. He's getting elderly he's old as far as that's concerned, and that's okay, but they're not raising up who their next level of stars are. They don't play with a lot of efficiency. They play with laziness. I mean, they don't get back on defense. Their defense is down in the bottom tier of the NBA. I mean, if I remember, the last I saw it was like 25th or so as far as their defensive rating. I mean, their offensive rating isn't very good. It's not great basketball, and so find somewhere else to go, man. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. And there's no hate. There's no hate in that at all, man. Just got to find somewhere else to go.
And it's a tough conversation to have, Strick, but at some point you got to bite the bullet and just get it over with, right? Again, you can find those moments to plug him in and to rely on him, but whether you're late era Cleveland or you're the Lakers, really since the bubble run to the championship game, it's hard to have those conversations. I can't imagine how to approach a guy like LeBron James and say, hey, we don't need you for 40 minutes, 40 okay to slightly below average minutes. We need you for, 26 to 30 really good minutes, right? You're still a starter. We still give you all the respect in the world. You get to run the first unit or the second unit, whichever it is. But right now, the baton has to be passed to say Anthony Davis on the Lakers. Or, why is Dalton Knecht starting to play less? Let's see what we have in that rookie. Or for the NBA, hey, Lakers, we get it. You're the glitz and glamour franchise. You're in LA, the biggest media market that we're really relying on right now. Trust me, you'll get your fair share of national games. But for Christmas, for the good of the league, and Bus family, to keep your checks looking pretty, you're going to have to sit Christmas out for a year. Let us feature someone else, because that's going to be best for you in the long run. It just seems like a lot of short-sighted in the moments decisions, Strick, like we talk about with Husker football, kicking the can down the road instead of picking it up and getting a new can.
Nothing to add to that, Austin. You're absolutely right. That's the way I see it too. And they've got to figure out a way to be creative in who to introduce and how to introduce them. They missed with Zion Williamson. I don't think they're going to miss with Wembanyama, but they need. Well, obviously, Ja kind of missed himself for a little while, but I think he's kind of emerging back. And I think Anthony Edwards got to get away from the 3-point game in order to become, that, because he's shooting way too high a clip of 3-pointers right now.
Yeah, no, I get you. Let's go to break. Text line, get your texting fingers ready. We're just going to play the tiebreaker question for the shootout with Strick. Even though it is Christmas week, we are still going to give the $30 away on Monday and on Friday. Normally it's Tuesday and it's Thursday, but we won't be around. So we will wrap up hour 1 of On the Block for this Christmas Adam, not Christmas Eve, but Christmas Adam when we get back in just a second.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. They are thankful for many things this year and every year, and hope that everyone is able to enjoy time with family and friends during this joyful celebration. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. During the Get Holiday Ready sales event, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for only $379 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $375 per month. Lease for 36 months with a free credit, 7,500 miles per year, $47.50 to assign, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 1225. See delivery details.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back for a short segment to wrap up hour 1 of On the Block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. We're going to give away our Buffalo Wings and Rings $30 for the first time this week. We usually play the shootout with Strick on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but hey, we'll let you keep your belt for the time being, Strick, in the spirit of Christmas. But we can have the best of both worlds. Stricky gets the belt, and we give away the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So we need you get your texting fingers ready. 402-464-5685. Just going to do the tiebreaker question here. All right, Strick. New men's AP poll was released today for college basketball. How many ACC and SEC men's basketball teams are ranked in this week's AP Top 25? Combined ACC and SEC teams in the men's basketball Top 25.
Carry the 4, but I'm going to tell you. -2 divided by 5. 8.
Stricky says 402-464-5685. We will give the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to, let's do texter number 3 with the right answer. Again, over, under, or push. Stricky, your boys from Auburn are rolling there. They're number 1 in a lot of metrics. They got a great resume. Tennessee's playing pretty well. The SEC has been off to a really, really great start. But Strick, you and your Nebraska teammates went out to Hawaii at one point, didn't you? Play a tournament? Tell me about that while we wait for the answer.
Yeah. We went out and we got a chance to play against the Fab Five when we were out there. It was fun. It was a great experience to be able to do that, especially earlier in it was like our freshman year and their sophomore year. So it was pretty cool, man. It was good. We came up short, but it was still a good experience.
How long were you guys out there? A couple days trip? Get to enjoy it all, or just play the game? And
we were out there almost a week.
Woo!
I mean, if I remember correctly, we were out there about 4 days. We stayed in Kona for like, I think 3 or 4 days before we went to Hilo and then played the tournament, which was another 3 or 4 days. It was about a good week. Yeah.
Nice.
The Rainbow Classic was roughly about the same, about a week.
Okay. Obviously, you weren't scared. You weren't backing down. But was the Fab Five in college everything you had heard about? Everything you thought it would be? Obviously, you guys played tough, but were they legit?
Yeah, they were legit. No question. They were legit. I got to face Jalen Rose. So when I got to the NBA, it wasn't that was the beauty of getting an opportunity to face some of those guys. Jalen Rose at 6'8" point guard at the time. He's tough. Post game. But yeah, they definitely was that. And then also Jimmy King was he was with the Mavericks when I was trying to make the team, and that was another thing. So it worked out, man. I got a chance to see some of those guys earlier and just dispel some of the mystic parts of what you may have perceived or thought of them or saw of them, and then got a chance to put it on the court. And it was good. It was a good experience.
Which one of those players was the best in college from the Fab Five, and who had the best NBA career in your opinion?
Definitely Chris. You could tell Chris was, he was a man. He was a man child. Very strong, physical. Didn't look like he had a good gait when he ran, but he could get up and down and worked on his jumper and developed it. But yeah, he was tough. I think Jalen could have had definitely a little bit longer run. Ray didn't get there. Jimmy got there for a short stint. And, and I actually got to play with Eric, who was their center, who was one of their centers as well. So, yeah.
We do have our winner on the text line. It is going to be Courtney, who says, over Stricky, you said 8 SEC and ACC teams in the top 25. Try 11. 11 of the top 25 from the SEC and the ACC. But here's the thing. 10 of the 11 are from the SEC. There is one ACC men's basketball team.
Your boys.
In the top 25. Yes, my boys. I was going to make it just the ACC, but I figured you would know that one off the top of your head. So I just switched it up, had to include your boys from the SEC and Auburn specifically because they're at or near the top of the poll. So yeah, Courtney, $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is yours. If you can get here by the end of the day to pick you up, great. If not, Friday or sometime in the next 30 days. We'll go to break when we
real quick.
What you got?
Is Auburn one of the, how many more teams like Auburn have shifted from a football team or football school to a basketball school?
You want to hit that coming out?
I mean, it's just a thought. I just want to throw it out there. We can talk about it today, tomorrow, or after.
Well, we can't talk about it tomorrow.
Oh,
we
after
got
Christmas.
Let's hit it. I think that's fun because there may or may not be some basketball schools in the college football playoff. Let's take a break. Let's get into that when we get back to hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference?
Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. And tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! You've called out the thunder. Now get ready for the boom! Gaze into the face of fear. Look up!
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman.
I think we're getting scammed by a kindergartner.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Quick thinking yesterday with that special talents thing. I feel bad for the guy. Just hope he doesn't get wise.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin, presented by Nebco.
That it is. Welcome into hour 2 of the show, the last hour for us before Christmas. Hit us with your Christmas plans. Let us know where it is you're going to be, what it is you're going to be up to. 402-464-5685. Bruce Davis says, let's go Husker Nation. Basketball tonight, 9:30 Central tip-off for Nebraska, 5:30 local time tip-off for the guys out there in Hawaii. Stricky, you brought up this question. I think it's an interesting one. With a school like Auburn getting really good at basketball, Tennessee is also really dang good at basketball right now. Those are two places that you typically think of as football powerhouses. Are there any other football powerhouses that come to mind as, you know, maybe making the transition to, or at least improving their standing in men's basketball?
I think obviously you got to look at Alabama as one of those as well. And shout out to Oklahoma. Oklahoma has this is not a new thing. This is a consistent thing. This goes all the way back where Oklahoma is definitely one of those teams where when you look at them, you don't look at them as a basketball school. I was talking to Skeeter Henry not too long ago, who played in Oklahoma, and it's they've always had success. It's just never been that you looked at them as a basketball school. You definitely, same thing with Texas A&M. That's one. That's another one there that you'd have to look at. Definitely Ole Miss. No question about that. And Mississippi State has had a lot of ups and downs, but they're trending a little bit better now. Not necessarily that they're a football school, so to speak, but here's the commonality about them all that I just shared, right? They're all in the SEC. So what is it about the SEC now where they're becoming both or dominant, you know, where you would see mostly a Kentucky, you would see some SEC schools, your Kentuckys, and then Florida's one of those as well. Florida's a one-off. They're a football school.
Yeah.
Florida was, you know, they had those couple runs where they were able to win a few championships, but then, you know, they disappeared. It hasn't been a consistent for them on that side, but they're one that's probably looking to get better as far as a consistency in the basketball realm. But I'm just saying it's got to be something about the SEC. What is it? Is it money? That's the question I have. I want to know. I mean, is it money? Is it just young men want to be in the Southeast now and so forth and so? I just don't know.
Do you have a hypothesis?
I think football is the driver. And I think the thing about the SEC for me, in my hypothesis, is that they have a willingness to create a holistic program as opposed to a one dominant program. So this is why I think they understand that, yes, we're pretty good at baseball too.
Yeah.
We have pretty good track programs down here also. So we have, our softball teams are good. Now, if you add Oklahoma into the Southeast, that gives them that type of dominance as well over there. So I think you look at it across the board, they feel that we just got good programs and we're building it off of that. And I think others are still kind of focused on just certain programs leading the charge and then, hope that the other ones do well.
I think you're onto something there. I think part of that too, Strick, is that because football has been the driver in the Southeast for so long, I think it's kind of twofold. On the one hand, Garth Glissman's doing a great job for the SEC. That's a Nebraska guy. Has done a lot around Nebraska, but then he's in a leadership role for the SEC conference, right? Kind of trying to push the basketball brand forward. But I think about a place like, say, Kentucky, right? That is a basketball school in what still is probably a football conference where, Mark Stoops could build up the football program behind the scenes. It's almost the flip side of that everywhere else. Think about Alabama kind of cycling through coaches, just being okay, hit or miss, pop in and out, but they invest more resources, and then they hired the right guy. Nate Oates is one of the best young up-and-coming coaches in the country. You can look at Auburn, taking a chance, saying, we don't care about Bruce Pearl's checkered past, say at Tennessee. He's a darn good basketball coach. We're going to hire him. Tennessee, going and getting Rick Barnes, who hasn't won anything major in his time at Texas, but that's a really consistent basketball coach who's taken Tennessee to another level than even what Bruce Pearl had it at before. You look at Ole Miss, right, taking a chance on, again, Chris Beard, who is a guy that was at Texas that Texas took a chance on. You think about Chris Jans down at Mississippi State. You think about Todd Golden, analytic kind of wunderkind from San Francisco, who's facing some of these issues. What the SEC did, Strick, was invest in these programs, make it a focus, right? Get with officials and say, we're going to hire the best officials to give us the highest level basketball. Add that on top of the talent that we know is readily available in football, but also in basketball down in the Southeast, right? There's hoopers in Florida. There's hoopers in Texas, not exactly hoops hotbeds. They're football hotbeds, but there's plenty of good athletes that come out of those schools. You can stretch into DC. You can stretch into Atlanta. You can stretch into Charlotte for good basketball. But then, Strick, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the SEC's hired better head coaches than the Big Ten has, for example, than the ACC has, for example. That, to me, is a bunch of the fall off, right? SEC goes and gets a big name Rick Barnes, a big name Bruce Pearl, incubates a Nate Oates. They had John Calipari in there for a while. But the Big Ten hasn't necessarily hired at the same level, hasn't seen the same level of success. The ACC certainly hasn't hired at the same level with the big names or seen the success from the internal hires as the SEC has. So I think you are absolutely right. It's the investment piece, but I think the SEC also, plain and simple, has just made better decisions with how to invest and where to invest, more so than any other conference in the men's basketball realm right now.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I think that's what they decided to do. We're gonna round our whole programs, and we're gonna use football as a driving force to it, and that's what they've done. It's good. It's a good way of marketing, and then they make sure that they use their resources, their money, and they apply them in the right areas in the space. And so that's what you got. You're starting to get success. The question then becomes: is do the other conferences have too much pride? Is it too much pride to think that you're still, who you used to be, or are you gonna make some adjustments? You're gonna do something different? Are you gonna change? Or are you gonna be Dabo Sweeney until this year? You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll see.
I think even just to bring it home even a little further, Strick, is Nebraska, right? What is holding Nebraska back? It's a football first school. It always has been. It always will be, right? We understand you best of all, right? You were here. You know what it's like on that campus inside those walls. Nebraska is a football school, but it doesn't have to just be a football school. Like you said, there is no reason Nebraska can't be a school with football as the driver, but using that, I mean, obviously football's got to, win a few more games next year than it did this year for it to get back to really being in that driver position. But Nebraska going to the Big Ten Wasn't a basketball decision, was not a baseball decision, wasn't a volleyball decision, wasn't a track, wrestling, softball, bowling decision. It was a football decision. They said, we can get out of here. We think we'll have a little bit more control. We like what we can do in the Big Ten. So we're jumping ship, right? None of those schools in the SEC that we talked about, outside of like Texas and Oklahoma, obviously, jumped from one conference to the other like Nebraska did. But Strick, there is no reason that Nebraska has to settle for being, we're a football school. Whatever success basketball has is just kind of incidental and by the side. Nebraska has a lot of really good programs, right? We know volleyball, we know wrestling, we know track is on the up and up. There's no reason that Nebraska can't take that SEC approach in investing in all the sports, having success across the board, and that shouldn't exclude men's basketball. It can't be by the wayside. In fact, I think Nebraska needs to continue to focus on and invest in the men's basketball program as a potential second source of increased revenue for those other departments.
Okay. So, yeah, it kind of froze for a second, but I got the gist of what you were saying. Yeah, and for me, man, as I just continue to look over it, there's been some turnover now. There's been significant turnover, every 5 to 6 years now. So there hasn't been a lot of stability at this point. So we can't lay the blame on any of that. There's not a lot of that. But I will say that I go back to the word out of the Strictionary, and that word is brand complacency. You get so stuck on the brand and the continued success, and it ain't broke, don't fix it. Where we're not saying you need to fix anything. We're not saying you need to change anything. We're just saying you might need to make some adjustments. It's what you call an A1 automotive. If we had Kendall Warnock in here, it's what you call a tune up. Just fine tune certain areas, change spark plugs, just put some fuel injector in, just some fine tuning. It isn't that there's anything wrong with the car. It's just you're doing some fine tuning to the car. I think that's what Nebraska is in need of. And can we get there? I don't know. I really do believe that Nebraska suffers from brand complacency, an unwillingness to add people that can bring certain things to the program, the unwillingness to do different things, to invest in certain areas. Oh, that's good. They're fine. You get so locked in on what's going on with football that you don't even find little ways to even add on to that because you're so stuck on this is the way. And I'm not talking about the Mandarin. No, you gotta make some Mandalorian, yeah. Not Mandarin, the orange, Mandalorian, yeah. That part. You got me. You knew where I was.
I'm with you. How about it?
So yeah, you got sometimes you got to change the way.
And I do think,
and no one likes change, Austin.
No.
That's the thing. No one everybody likes the gravy train. You love to just stay in it's easy to stay in the jet stream. If you ever watched that movie Nemo, I know you probably have with your little man now. Finding Nemo, right? Yeah. You remember when the turtles jumped into the stream and they just
ride the current.
Yeah, it gets tough when you get outside the stream, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you think that you staying in is the stream, and you think it's easy peasy and it's greasy and gravy. But no, sometimes you might need to deviate, step outside, maybe go upstream a little bit, do something unique, do something different, change the game plan, because right now you're so complacent.
You really are. And it's unfortunate because you can't afford to sit back, right? We talked about it last week. Where are you innovating? Where are you finding advantages? Hasn't necessarily been a consistent theme for Nebraska football, right? I'm sure they're trying, but sometimes, Strick, that's where I think Nebraska is starting to get over this a little bit, but we'll need to see a little bit more of it moving forward to see the Huskers move forward in the right direction. Think about the reaction initially to the Scott Frost hire. Again, it's the hire Bill Moose had to make, and Scott Frost had to take the job, but it was, he's one of us. He's not an outsider. He is an insider. He knows what it takes at Nebraska. That's all fine and well to a point, but just being part of the family can never be enough of a reason to hire someone. You need reasons outside of that, right? Sure. Is an outside hire maybe riskier because you don't know them, because there's not familiarity, because there's not history? Sure, maybe in that way it's riskier, but maybe sometimes getting an outside voice, whether it's for head coach or general manager or just a position coach, whatever it might be, sometimes that's not a wholesale change. Sometimes, to your point, it's just getting the oil changed, right? There's nothing wrong with the way you're doing things, but if I don't get this oil change now, hey, guess what? My car's going to break down. It's not going to run well. It's going to start sputtering and clunking, and hopefully it turns over next time. You got to get routine maintenance. You got to do routine checks. And the best leaders, the best organizations, Strick, know when, and sometimes it's luck, but I think for the most part, it's planning, it's foresight, and it's being honest with yourselves and figuring out what is actually wrong, what do we need to keep the same because it's working, and what, based on the current landscape of college athletics, might not work in the next 3 to 5 years. So let's keep this train rolling as long as we can. But what is our plan to pivot when this gets out of date, when other people pass us? How do we either stay ahead or get back ahead? That's what I don't necessarily always see from Nebraska consistently.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it right there. Definitely.
Want to talk some college football playoff for a few minutes here?
Let's get it.
What was your favorite game of the weekend of the four?
Man, listen, there was great games. I think I actually enjoyed this part of it. Not necessarily the games, because it was some dominating factors in some of these games, right? Texas handled business. Quinn Ewers looked really good again. Just athleticism, solid. Big time Ohio State blowout. It's like finally they figured out they've got doggone NFL receivers out there, and they're getting the guys the ball, and that was something to see. SMU tricked it off a lot of themselves, but shout out to Penn State for doing what they did as far as defensively, forcing turnovers and making it very rough out there for the SMU offense. And, I think that game turned late but it was pretty much a dominating game out of Notre Dame. So here's the factor that I saw in this college football playoff. I saw that it is important to make sure that you have the home field advantage. I think it was even more important in the early sets, the onset of this new college football playoff format. And the reason being, it was the intensity of, it was like those home teams were not going to allow themselves to lose in this type of opportunity to get into which they normally would not be in, but to get into an opportunity to win a national championship. And we get to start that at home, bruh. That was what it looked like to me. It was like there was nothing none of the visiting teams could do in these games that was going to change the outcome. It sounded like the crowds were raucous. It was crazy atmospheres, and I absolutely loved it. That's the part that I loved about it.
Yeah, I think we can go through all four of these games and pinpoint that, right? For Indiana, they played a little scared on the road. They got too conservative. Yeah. They didn't find a way to take some of the air out of that crowd in South Bend early, right? Indiana got to Notre Dame's side of the field, and I think maybe even down to the red zone on 4 of its first 5 drives, but only had 3 points to show for it. Credit the Notre Dame defense for stepping up, but it didn't look like the same edge and the same swagger we saw from Indiana, right? They've been the team that punches first, that comes out aggressively. They didn't necessarily show that on Friday night, so Notre Dame gets its first postseason, BCS college football playoff win of the era. Good for them. You look at SMU. Jennings was rattled. That noise got to him. He did not play well. You saw him covering his ears, and that only made Penn State get louder, right? An early pick 6 after an early drop that would have been a conversion on 4th and 3. It leads to another pick 6. Penn State's off and rolling, keeps SMU at arm's length from there. Texas went down early, but then Texas got rolling, right? That defense was stifling. You saw Clemson, couldn't run the ball on him, right? Clemson had to rely on Cade Klubnik, and Texas's offense, a decimated running back room, took over that game.
Boy,
the one I was most curious
Blue,
to see,
good gosh.
Jaden
Boy,
Blue,
if he hits a corner, oh my gosh. Jaden Blue, when he turns a corner, it's like bye-bye, baby. Oh man, the speed of that young man. Yeah. 2 times he broke loose. Yeah, go ahead.
On both of those runs, I said, wow, where I was watching the game, because I didn't think he would have enough to outrun a relatively athletic Clemson defense, right? There's some dudes on that side of the ball for Clemson. Jaden Blue got the handoff, hit the crease, and he was gone. I was impressed with the Texas run game, and of course, the defense didn't play its best game, but it did certainly enough to keep Clemson at bay. The one that was most interesting to me, though, Strick, was the nightcap, was Ohio State hosting Tennessee. How was that Ohio State crowd going to react? The last time Ohio State was at home, of course, was the loss to Michigan. Tennessee brought a fair contingent of fans. Obviously, the Buckeyes get out to that great start. They're up 21-0 after the first quarter. But, Strick, I really thought that with Tennessee scoring those 10 unanswered points in the second and getting the ball to start the third quarter, I'm like, okay.
Here we go. Right. That's what I felt, too.
Can you make Ohio State uncomfortable? Can you make their fans sit on their hands and start the grumbling and get in Ryan Day and Chip Kelly's head? Ohio State forces a punt. I believe Ohio State scores. It's off to the races from there. So Tennessee, deserving playoff team, maybe just a year away, maybe from being in true contention. Nico Yamaleva's got to get better. But Strick, a big credit to the Ohio State crowd and to Ohio State for not letting the outside noise or the distractions get to it. That was a heck of a response. And like you said, this is the Ohio State team I thought we were going to see all year long.
That's a fact. And they didn't address it. They let all the talk happen on the side of Tennessee and all that they were going to do and how they were going to plant flags, and you didn't hear nothing come out of Ohio State. They just said, okay, we going to go out there and handle business. And that was what I was impressed with. I was impressed with how they were focused and not caught up in all of the whirlwind of all the outside noise. So, shout out to them. And shout out to Ryan Day and his crew. They still got some work ahead, but I still think for the most part, if you look at the brackets, I still think there's some favorability in the bracket. I think there's some favorability in the bracket with where Texas finds themselves. I think they still got to play well. Poor Ohio State, you know what I mean? You look good, you handle business. Now you gotta go and deal with Oregon. You do got the factor of revenge, that you're looking at there as well. That's something to take a look at. But Penn State's got one of the better run defenses in the country. And this is what they're going to face. They're going to face a Boise State team that is not going to stop. They are going to run. And now here's what I could say. They're going to throw some wrinkles in early. I think they're going to throw some wrinkles in early just to try to loosen them up a little bit. Some play actions, first down play actions. I think they're going to do some wrinkles because they've shown you all year, we are coming. We are running. Mm-hmm. Don't you know it? Yes, you do. And it doesn't matter if you do or not. We are coming. And then that's what you're going to see in that situation. But I do think
that's you.
Oh, that's my sister.
Ain't me.
That's my sister. I'm at her house and you see she's making noise. But but yeah, man, that's the one thing about that situation there. And can Notre Dame step up to the challenge? We just haven't seen them do it as of late. We've seen them get here and get in these opportunities and then just get lambasted. Just get just get running roughshod on, right? So we're going to see. Which game though, Austin, are you most interested in taking a look at when you consider this?
To me, Strick, I think the only game I'm not as thrilled by is Texas and Arizona State. It's an interesting game in its own right. It's an Elite Eight matchup between what should have been conference foes, but isn't anymore. Can Arizona State stay hot despite the week off? Texas dealing with some injuries. Will they be able to recoup and regroup by next weekend to play? We'll see. The other three games all have their intrigue me, right? Penn State won a college football playoff game. They've never done that before. They haven't qualified for the 4-team version. Credit them for taking care of SMU. Again, deserving playoff team, but Penn State was more talented across the board. I didn't have many doubts that Penn State was going to win that game. Now, Penn State is going to be, again, more talented than Boise. They open up as, I think, a 10.5-point favorite, but Boise has the best player in the game. Can Genty take over at the Fiesta Bowl where there's been so much magic for Boise State before? Or does Penn State take advantage of what maybe outside observers would say is its path and find its way into the Final Four? Notre Dame, Georgia. Who can get the long explosive touchdown that puts it away? Two of the best defenses in the country. And what's going to be better? Is it going to be Notre Dame with, a game under its belt, knocking off some of the rust, getting to do it at home? Or is it going to be Georgia with an extra week to prepare for Gunnar Stockton starting in place of Carson Beck? And then for my money, the most interesting game, because of, like you said, the revenge factor, because of the fact we've seen this game already, is Oregon and Ohio State. Or Ohio State's not the 8th best team in the country. They should be ranked higher than that. Oregon gets a week off. Good for them. But Ohio State, again, has a chance to shake the rust off, and they have the revenge factor on its mind. This game was played out in Oregon. I would feel a little bit better about things if I were the Ducks. Instead, it's a Rose Bowl game out in Pasadena. I am so curious to see if Oregon loses, it's not a knock on them, right? They've had a fantastic year. They're deserving 1 seed. If Ohio State loses, it's not, oh, yep, Ryan Day got lucky. They had an easy matchup in the first round. That's that. It should be 2 heavyweight teams going at it again. So for my money, it's Ohio State, Oregon, and all the storylines in that one in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I think I have to agree, Austin. What say you? 402-464-5685. Which game for you in the college football playoff are you most intrigued by? Let us know there as well, and we'd love to hear that from you guys. Obviously, everybody's going to be looking at the bowl game with Nebraska that's going to be playing. But what else? What other bowl? Like you said, I know that people are saying there's just too many, but what other bowl games out there, Austin, before we go to break? Like, what? Give me 2 more bowl games that you're just like, you know what, this would be pretty cool to watch.
The bowl game that I have my eye on, Strick, probably the most of all, is the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's between Miami and Iowa State, 2 teams that were staring down the barrel of the college football playoff. Iowa State, of course, tricks it off in the Big 12 championship game against Arizona State. Credit the Sun Devils for that one. Then Miami, right? Good year, but lost the wrong games at the wrong time. That's a team I still think deserve maybe a little bit more credit as an at-large team. I mean, seeing a guy like Cam Ward, Damian Martinez, and that offense in the college football playoff would have been fun. Instead, we get it in a bowl game. Texas A&M USC in the Las Vegas Bowl pulls a little bit of attention for me. I believe that one's coming up on Friday when we're back on the air. You can get done watching Nebraska Boston College and then flip it right over to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And then that same night, Strick, on the 28th, you get a Big 12 matchup, but we didn't see it in the regular season. BYU Colorado.
That's
BYU,
the one I want to see.
Playoff team against Colorado. I mean, a 9-win season there. I'm pretty impressed with both of those teams, what they were able to do this season. So I would say those 3 games are the ones that have my attention.
Yeah, those are the 3 I think too as well. And then I'd be interested to see who drops off and who stays in as far as Alabama, Michigan. You know, who's going to just say, the Real Quest Bowl. I'm just going to sit out that one. You know what I mean? But
for sure,
that's the one that I wish Nebraska or something would have been in. I would have been in Tampa, Florida for that one. I think I would have went down to see that one. Or the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. One of them too. I think I would have went down
Bowl, something. Yeah. Stricky, we got a phone call. Let's go to our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Let's welcome in Paul. Paul in Lincoln. Paul, what you got going on today?
Hey, guys. Maybe a little off topic, but related. As far as which of these games coming up I'm more intrigued by or excited by, I think it's got to be the rematch. I think Ohio State versus Oregon in neutral site would be a very exceptional game. I'm hoping that's a lot better than this last weekend, which was just so many blowouts, which gets to my point. Some people will say, oh, we need a 16 team. We should expand the playoff. It's like, come on, guys. The top 4 every year pretty much are going to be slight, if not head and shoulders above the next 8. And so the next 8, you can maybe have a team that was a little underperforming early on, and maybe they're going to make a playoff run, sure. But those 8 can play amongst themselves to get us down to 4 winners of those 8 playing teams. And then they get to play the top 4, and then you'll just take the rest of the way through. And I think that that's probably as good a situation you can have. And I really do not want to see us expand the playoff anymore, because you're going to get more blowouts when you get the 13th, 14th, 15th team in the nation.
Sounds great, Paul. Appreciate the thoughts, Paul. We'll put you on hold here, but appreciate the call again on our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Strick, you take it first. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Austin. When I look at that, my whole issue is this, because I think it's very unfortunate that Oregon finds himself in this situation. So here's a suggestion I would make, right? Nothing that Paul said. It was Paul, right?
Yep, Paul.
There's nothing that Paul said I disagree with, and there's nothing I would disagree with for you. I think that it should not expand. Here's where I say, though. I say that once the first round settings are set, you go by rankings. 1's Oregon, 2 is Georgia, 3 is Boise, and 4 is Arizona State. Oregon gets first choice of where they want to be in the bracket. So I say Oregon would probably choose to maybe go where maybe Indiana and Notre Dame, or maybe Clemson and Texas. But they get to choose that, right? And then Georgia, then of what's left, they get to make the choice. Where do they want to fit? They may want to fit against Indiana, Notre Dame. Where they at? They may want to say, we good right here. And then Boise gets to pick. And I'm sure they're not going to pick Tennessee, Ohio State. So they're going to go where they're at right now. And then the last team, Arizona State, gets stuck with what's left. That's what I think really should happen as far as the choices, because I think it's a disservice that Oregon ends up with that type of matchup in the second round. I just don't think it's right.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's part of the injustice, or at least the inequity of the system, is that Oregon, as the number 1 seed, doesn't have the best odds to win the national title because they're going up against a team that was probably underranked going into this thing. Because why? The 4 top-ranked conference champions get buys instead of the 4 top-ranked teams. You can understand it. You want to reward winning the conference. Trust me, I am all about that. But that's why I think 12 is an awkward number, right? The FCS has made 24 work. Again, kind of a weird number, but they found ways to make it work. To me, I thought 8 was the perfect number. I really did. Maybe you could convince me to go to 16 and just have 4 team pods. But short of doing what you're saying, Strick, and letting the top 4 teams choose their next opponent in order, short of doing that, to me, the best system is reduce the number, which isn't going to happen. But I think what we saw this weekend wasn't necessarily that Indiana and SMU and Tennessee and Clemson didn't belong in the playoff. What we saw is there aren't 12 teams worthy of winning the national championship every year. We saw the top 4 teams in the middle win. We saw the bottom 4 teams in the middle lose. So now we're down to the 8 teams that the committee told you were the 8 best throughout the regular season. The bracket worked itself out the way that we thought it should, at least there. And now, Strick, the question for this next weekend that I know we'll talk more about on Friday is, what's the better system? Because it's hard for me to say that the top 4 teams don't also deserve a home game along with the week off. But maybe if home field advantage does turn out to be such a great advantage, maybe we're doing these top teams a disservice by not giving them a home game and by not giving them a chance to knock the rust off. Maybe we would be better served by limiting the playoff to 8, the 4 higher seeds hosting a game so they get the best of both worlds. Both teams get a week off, but the top seeds, whether it's conference champions or best teams overall, make sure they get a home game and a home gate as well moving forward.
Well, but there needs to be something done. Whatever the adjustment is, it's something. If this format stays the way it is, it's something that needs to be done. There needs to be some tweaking and a little bit of adjustment there. That's just the only way I would see it, because I just don't think it's right the way it fell.
No.
That's not right.
No, I'm with you. The 6 seed shouldn't have an easier path to the title than the 1 seed.
Facts.
That's simple. The other thing that needs to happen, we got to take a break. It's been a great long segment. We'll get out of here, have a short one on the Nebraska football transfer portal, and then a crossover to wrap things up.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Pretty quick segment. We're going to hit the Nebraska football transfer portal. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. Stricky, we didn't have a chance to talk about this, you and me. Nebraska football does have a quarterback commit out of the transfer portal. Guy by the name of Marcos Davila, redshirted last year at Purdue. But what stands out to me, Strick, 6'3", 233-pound, pretty much a pocket passer. With Heinrich Harburg as the backup quarterback, we saw Nebraska run a similar offense, but would have a lot of wrinkles in it. Marcos Davila, similar size to Dylan Raiola, in similar play style. Do you like that Nebraska is going with a guy that is more similar in his style of play to Dylan Raiola as a potential option at backup? Or did you like the diversification at the quarterback position with 2 guys with different skill sets?
Well, I think the diversification can work well for you depending on how you want to use it. But I think the similarity always keeps things like simplified, because you don't have to scheme a whole different. Let me tell you who struggled with that. Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They struggled with different styles of quarterback, and the OC really liked the running style of Marcel. What was it?
Marcel Reed.
Marcel Reed, right? They really liked his style. They felt that it gave him a little bit more diversity than the traditional pocket, style of quarterback. So I think if you're going to do that, Dylan Raiola is probably going to be your guy at least for another couple of years, hopefully. And if things continue to progress, I think for Dylan to stay, you're going to need to see a progression. You're going to need to see a leap similar to what Colorado did.
Yeah.
Make a good leap and challenge the power structure of the Big Ten. Not necessarily overturn it, but you definitely want to fall in that 4 or 5 range in the Big Ten. I don't see nothing in our schedule that if you come to play, you don't have this complacency about the brand. Everybody buys in. You get a good defensive. The defense shows up with the loss of Tony White, and then you put yourself in that 4 or 5 slot. I think that can keep you around as long as you can show progression. If you show regression anyway, I think he's gone, because I think he's going to want to smell that CFP to go somewhere where that could be the case. Right now, I don't think it's about the money for him. I think it's really about the legacy. It's about the challenge. The money's good. He believes maybe the money's going to be there in the long run anyway. But I do believe if there's a regression in any way, I don't foresee that he would stay. And I couldn't fault the guy, to be honest. So getting somebody that's similar there that can do a lot of the same type of stuff, that's good to have in the backup. And then you hope that your recruits, TJ Lateef and those guys come in and they can develop and they can also fight for the position, whether Dylan leaves or whether Dylan stays, they can still be in the mix.
Lateef is interesting because he is more that dual threat guy, whereas Dayton Raiola goes back to the pocket passer mold. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. TJ Lateef is with the team on the bowl trip to New York. But the other intriguing piece to me, Strick, out of the transfer portal for Nebraska does come on that defensive side. We think Nebraska could have a potential game changer on its hands and 5-star
cornerback?
No.
No, Nwarni. Yeah.
Defense. Yeah, right. Nwarni on the defensive line. But at the second and or third level, Strick, a guy that I'm really excited to see Nebraska get is a guy that stood out to me when he was at Indiana, transferred to Oklahoma, played all right, but this came out yesterday. Dasan McCullough commits to Nebraska. He's 6'5", 235. In 3 years, he's had 95 tackles, 5 sacks, 6 passes broken up, and 13 tackles for loss. Freshman All-American, all Big Ten type of player, does only have 1 year of eligibility left. But Strick, with the departure of Isaac Gifford from the program, with Nebraska needing help at linebacker, I don't know if he profiles more as a linebacker or as that kind of rover position, kind of like he played at Oklahoma. But I think at 6'5", 235, that is a versatile, long, rangy, athletic piece that can be a big-time playmaker for this defense, creating some havoc, whether it's using him at the line of scrimmage or in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, throw him in there, drop him into coverage, rush him. If he can turn out to be Micah Parsons-ish, not Micah Parsons, but
right.
Ish, where he could have and show a lot of that versatility, but we just don't know still the style of play that they're going to play on defense this upcoming year. So those are going to be some things to watch. But if you're smart, you want to take some of your talent on the defensive side and find your Terrell Farley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Terrell Farley was a traditional linebacker, but they found ways in the blitz and in coverage and in all types of ways to use him in order to take advantage of that athletic ability. I think Nebraska should do the same. Look at who they've got in that room, figure out how they can move them, shift them, do different things with them, do weird things with them, and make the game fun, because you want to be able to generate people that want to come. You make that defense fun to play and have success with it, then you'll get eyes that want to play that style, and it won't always be about the money.
Sure.
It won't be like your boy O'Shawn Mathis that came in and didn't do a dang thing.
And there was a lot to that one. Money obviously seems like it was a part of it. Stricky, we're up against it. We'll let you go. I'll just talk with Jay for a couple minutes here. Have a very Merry Christmas, partner. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you to do some pregame for Nebraska and Boston College on Friday. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We love you guys on the block. See y'all after Christmas. How about that?
That's the plan. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We'll get out of here. Short crossover. We'll get you to old school right after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Midwest Bank, they want to thank all the generous donors who helped make their 2024 Turkey Drive for Schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, they raised enough money to provide 153 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, they made Thanksgiving Day for those families a little brighter. They want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high around 50. Tonight, mainly clear skies with patchy fog developing late. See a low near 27. And tomorrow morning, fog expected to give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. We'll see a high near 44. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Husker Nation, Nebraska is heading to the Pinstripe Bowl, and J-Tech Construction and Solar is here to help you score big on your home this season. Buy any 2 trades, windows, siding, roofing, solar, gutters, or doors, and save up to 20% off. Plus, enjoy no payments until 2026 and receive a $25 Valentino's gift card. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels, they've got your home covered like a true champ. Call 402-261-3682 to schedule your free estimate today. J-Tech Construction and Solar, proud sponsors of Husker football.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back at 1040 O Street, wrapping things up for not quite the week, but at least the day here during On the Block. Austin Norman with you, joined now by Jay Foreman. Welcome in, Jay.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
It's the Christmas Eve. Christmas
Adam.
Yeah, Christmas Adam. Like Adam and Eve.
You like that one?
I like it.
It went over the text line said before. So
Okay, I like that.
You're smarter than the rest of them. We already knew.
Yeah, I got you. I like it.
Good. I know we'll talk plenty college football playoff, plenty of transfer
Yeah.
portal coming up on Old School, so we'll stay away from that. Your Houston Texans back in the transaction game on the waiver wire. Deontay Johnson. How about that?
Well, I mean, it's an unfortunate injury as with Tank Dell, man. That was tough to see, especially him having such a stellar rookie year. Messed his knee up, I think, down in Jacksonville last year.
Never go to Jacksonville, folks.
Yeah, that's the. I don't know. It's always I always go back and forth. Whether I want to go back to Jacksonville or Utah, for different reasons. I think I'll pass. But he battled his way back. Was having a really good year. He had to accelerate his rehab and reacclimation because of Stephon Diggs, and kind of went down with a non-contact injury. So, and then Tank Dell, it's unfortunate, man, because he was about to make a spectacular play. So, I think they got a really good replacement. He's a veteran, just trying to find his way. He's with Baltimore, I think, right? Yep. Didn't really get used, and that was kind of a waste of his time, but it was a good idea. But I think the emergence of Bateman up there kind of really nullified the need for Johnson. So Baltimore did him a solid. And then, obviously, unfortunately for him, he has a good landing spot that's with Houston is going to be in the playoff race. So he's a veteran that's been through there before. And then I think also should give C.J. Stroud confidence right off the get-go because he's a professional and he's a good locker room guy.
Obviously, Houston has wrapped up the AFC South. Congratulations to the Texans on that. But it hasn't been maybe the step forward a lot of people thought. Is it as simple as, hey, you're injured? Is that what went wrong for Houston? Or what's maybe held Houston back from taking that next step?
I think people get excited. First of all, you do this with a lot of quarterbacks. We've seen this with Jalen Hurts, right? Yeah. And you see it with, Russell Wilson even went through. Everybody goes through it and this is a team too. You see glimpses. You're like, man, we got a franchise quarterback.
Looks like a franchise number one in Dell.
And then you got Collins, and then you make the trade for Diggs, like you said. Schultz,
Tunsil,
and then you make huge trades on the defense. You lose some guys, but you gain them back.
Anderson and Stingley are awesome.
And Stingley's finally hurt, and then they drafted the young man from Georgia who's stepping in and learning. He's in the learning process right now, but he's still, playing. And the expectations go up, plus the schedule gets harder.
That first place schedule.
Yeah, the schedule gets a lot harder. And you're not sneaking up on anybody, and nobody knew how good CJ was last year until it was too late. And so they're fighting a little bit of that. And then obviously the injury bug and just the NFL's gotten better as well. And, let's face it, like last year, like the Colts were right there. So, every time you play them, anytime you play Tennessee and Jacksonville's immensely talented. They just are just spinning their wheels right now. So they are, just battling through it. And the one thing that is dangerous about Houston is I feel like they haven't caught rhythm yet.
Right.
They've shown a quarter here, quarter there. I talk to John McClain a lot, and I follow him, and he just says, he's right there. He's like, look, that was actually 2 drives that were really good. And they have not been able to put drives together. I love Slowick.
He was really good last year.
Obviously, it's a different situation. Mm-hmm. And then also, Joe Mixon has been so good. It's weird that they haven't been more consistent because he has been extremely, really, really extremely good. So I think it's just a little bit of growing pains. It's no different than, I mean, look, we'll talk Nebraska as well. I mean, 5-7, you kind of showed a little bit of life. The football looked a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got everybody's best shot because they're preparing for the what if, and the what if is what if you play your best.
Right. Let's pause 10 quick seconds for station ID here on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I think you and I would both agree that of the AFC South teams, Houston has the most present and probably the best future as well. I like how they're positioned moving forward. How do you rank the other three teams in that division moving forward? Who's most likely or least likely to challenge the Texans?
I'd probably say the Colts.
Saying that to be nice or because you mean it?
No, I do mean it. I think I love the Colts defense. I love Franklin. I like Jonathan Taylor. I like their offensive line. I'm a big Quentin Nelson fan. I like Kelly. I like all their offensive line. I like their offense, period. I think just if the quarterback has a huge leap in maturity as far as, professional, which I think he's on the way of doing. He's a smart kid. And he's a great kid. But the thing, he's a kid.
Right.
But I think him getting, I wouldn't say he was benched. I think he was just timeout. Yeah. And that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And actually it's really good job by Irsay, the GM, and the head coach actually not just giving him lip service. That's why you saw him take it, accept it, immediately change some behavior, led to good play. I think they are the direct challenge that like the closest to him.
And that's where, if I can just pause you right there real quick, is that having a guy like DeForest Buckner in that locker room was huge, right?
Yeah.
Michael Pittman Jr.'s been around.
Franklin as well.
That entire offensive line, right? Jonathan Taylor's a veteran at this point. Kenny Moore, let's not underrate him, right? Like having guys like that in the locker room make sure that you don't make a move like that and then it's just lip service.
Yeah.
But that's maybe part of my frustration and Colts fans' frustrations with this team is that they haven't had that quarterback because it's a win now team.
Yeah,
For having a young quarterback, it is not a young team that's growing and developing with them. Offensive linemen, their knees only stay good for so long.
Yeah.
Colts have let, trust me, Zaire Franklin's awesome, but the Colts have let better or just as good of linebackers like him walk. Kenny Moore is not going to be able to play this way forever. Safety, like they're just kind of piecing it together. It's a playoff caliber lineup of veterans, but again, being led by youth at quarterback.
Yeah.
And they've gotten toasted on the outside defensively. So that's maybe where it's a little bit unfortunate for me as a Colts fan that say that the Phillip Rivers run ended in Buffalo, right? In a tight game. That Matt Ryan wasn't able to get it done, that Carson Wentz didn't take a step forward, because it's not like, oh yeah, Houston, where you can see the young pieces growing together with CJ Stroud. It's the Colts feel like they got two timelines going on.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing to do is that like you're doing your job, but you're not doing it good enough, but you can't fault them because you got a young quarterback. You actually have to start at the quarterback position and then go from there.
Yeah.
If I'm the Colts, I look for a Daniel Jones or somebody like that that's willing to come in and be a backup. Because the way Anthony Richardson plays, you're going to need it unless he learns how to play a little bit smarter. And that's where the maturation comes in. If you can find a viable backup that can be a little bit better than a game manager, they're knocking on the heels of Houston because you just never know what's going to happen with Stephon Diggs. And I think the Tennessee Titans are a little far away. But I think Jacksonville talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is going on, and I think it's a mix of ideas from the GM and just some bad luck, and then also dealing with being very, very talented, but not good yet. They have a lot of talent, but they're not good as a team yet. And so they have to find a way, whether it's with Peterson still there or new leadership, you got to turn that bad boy around because you have a franchise quarterback, or at least somebody's a top 16 quarterback.
Like Trevor's
in the
good.
league.
Trevor's a good quarterback. He's a good player. I will not stand for Trevor Lawrence slander. Can he be better? Yes. But Trevor's not the problem in Jacksonville for my money.
No, you need a little bit better play at your offensive line. You need a little bit more consistent play with the wide receivers. But then ultimately, I think they just need to play better. If the defense plays good, the offense just has an off month.
Yeah.
And then the special teams weren't very good. And so you just got to get them. It's a very, very young team. Name one veteran on that team. It's hard. It was Christian Kirk, and he played 4 years. And, they've had kind of like a carousel at wide receiver position. So Trevor Lawrence hasn't had that one guy. You could say maybe Evan Ingram, but he came there on a 1-year deal, balled out, got and he kind of been out of the lineup, in and out of the lineup this year. So they don't have a veteran in their locker room.
Could have said Josh Hines-Allen, maybe.
But he's not built for that.
No.
He's not, so.
You trade away Ramsey.
Yep. And Etienne is you got all young. It's a young team.
Yeah.
So everything is dependent on the position coaches, the coordinators, the head coach, and then obviously the people that make decisions all being on board. And I think that's where it's got a little shaky. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can guess.
No, I'm with you. I think we end up in pretty much the same spot for that. All right. So college football playoff, transfer portal. Anything else on Old School?
We're gonna ask the text line, man. Since we're on Adam Eve,
Christmas Adam.
Yeah, Christmas Adam. Sorry about that. What some of the people's fondest Christmas memories are, and then I'll see if they have something with sports. I mean, that's always. I think it's a great time with all the bowl games on. You just you got a built-in excuse not to do much, but we'll take some cues from the text line, but then also give us some thoughts on what's coming ahead here.
Perfect. You won't want to miss it. It'll be me and Jay for the next couple hours on Old School. Thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of the show. Thanks to Love Omaha for sponsoring the crossover that we just had. Their inaugural season begins January 24th at Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Get your tickets online at love.com, LOVB.com. See former Huskers Jordan Larson, Justine Wongerantes, Maddie Kubik, and Lauren Stivrins in action. For Strick, I'm Austin. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you in a second. Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street, and